Alright, hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about the Gemini Progress Report. I'll be talking about what horses I have trained. I'll be talking about what I'm planning to do already for my CM. I'll be talking about the stats, and I'll try to answer some of the questions because I was very busy in the military, so I had no time to really go and answer some of your questions that I saw in the comment section. Right? So besides that, we will also be talking about lore today because I'm trying to set up for a big lore video and I want to talk about TM Opera O and Meisho Doto. Right? Later on, I'll be talking about even more horses, more famous ones, so I can try and make a timeline for a big lore video. For this one, we are going to be talking about Opera O and Meisho Doto, and because of that, right, if you have not watched the movie, which is beginning of a brand new era, you should watch that. Otherwise, you will get spoiled. And then you should also watch the mini series, the Narita Top Road to the Top. If you watch both of these, then you will be able to understand what is happening over here. If you want to get spoiled, then feel free to continue watching. Otherwise, just skip to the actual Gemini Cup progression part, right? Then you will be able to also get the information. Okay, for this one, it's just Meisho Doto, TM Opera O, and also a nice mention to Method the Cat. They both come from the Northern Dancer bloodline, and Method the Cat is just the best friend of Meisho Doto, who I find very, very cute. Because Meisho Doto, I think, took about 1 to 2 years to befriend this cat, and now they are inseparable. So if you do see a cat in the game with Meisho Doto, it's a reference to Method the Cat over here. TM Opera O is an insane horse. All right, it's an insane horse. We are going to look at her records now, right? Basically, every single G1 over here you saw, she won 7 G1s in total. And look who is right behind her: Doto, 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 Doto. 5 times Doto is second place in all of these G1s, right? If TM Opera O was not in this timeline, right, then Doto will be the one we'll be talking about right now instead of talking about TM Opera O. But unfortunately, because of TM Opera O, Meisho Doto is relegated to second place. But she will get her revenge later on at Takarazuka Kinen 2001, where she is able to finally take the victory away from her arch rival. Alright. We also have Narita Top Road over here and Narita Top Road over here, and Narita Top Road will also snipe one victory away from TM Opera O. Take note, these are their only victories against TM Opera O because this guy is unbeatable, right? Literally unbeatable, except for these moments over here. Even in his unbeatable form, in his beatable form, when he's being beaten by people, he's still second place, proving that the king can only lose to a little bit of RNG, right? A little bit of bad RNG, and now the king is now second place, right? Loses to Poke, loses to Meisho Doto, loses to Narita Top Road, and even Agnes Digital, who is also mentioned in the movie, right? She's just in the fan, she's in the stadium, and she's always there like, yay, I love Umas, right? Always in the background. But even though Agnes Digital is always in the background, she's actually a very, very insane horse. If you want to know more about her, feel free to go and read her record. She has a very strong record for a horse, right? And Side Games just did the part where she's just a trivia junkie and she loves horses, but Agnes Digital is an insane horse in real life as well. Okay. So yeah, this is all of the very major races here. You can even see some of them from the movie or the anime if you watch properly, right? Jungle Pocket over here, Narita Top Road over here. You can even see the Arima one with Meisho Doto over here in the Jungle Pocket anime, movie I mean. Yeah, so really, really a lot of references to the history, and I think they did very, very good characterizations of the horse and very good representation of what happened in each of these races, right? For TM Opera O, right, she has an insane record of 26 victories. 26 races, 14 wins, 14 first places, 6 second places, 3 third places, and 3 any positions. Earnings is 1.8 billion yen, and she was sold for 10.5 million yen. Insane return on investment, and the only one that would match this is probably just Kita-san Black. Kita-san Black is now, I think, the highest earnings for now. I'm not sure if another horse will overtake her soon, but she has one of the highest earnings in terms of wins, right? For TM Opera O, she also earns a humongous amount over here. For the cost also, it's like insane, right? So TM Opera O is really, really insane horse. Kita-san is also an insane horse. Harikite Iko deserves it, right? So now, let us go on to the lore over here. There's a lot of lore to get into, right? For the first part, we're going to talk about the name. Where does the name come from? TM is the clan, Takezono Masatsugu. That's where the name comes from for TM. Opera comes from the father, Opera House. Opera House was actually the reason why TM Opera O was sold for so little. It's because they thought that TM Opera O was actually they thought that Opera House was actually not really good for Japan tracks, and so the progeny will also not be very good for Japan tracks. But what happened was that TM Opera O would prove them wrong eventually, and the O stands for King or Lord. So if you see any horse with O at the back of their name, it's because they are a reference to the king, right? So if you see Sakura Bakushin O, it's a king, right? So they are intended to be like winners, basically. Like, oh, will you add the O to your name so that you will be a king and you'll be winning? And TM Opera O deserves it because now she is the overlord, right? The emperor of the century's end. Okay, next we also have to talk about Ryuji Wada, the jockey from debut to retirement, a lifelong friend with TM Opera O basically. Ryuji Wada joined when he was a rookie jockey, and he stayed all the way until he became a veteran jockey, and most of the time was going to be on TM Opera O, and then later on he would ride other horses as well. The Ryuji Wada, he was considered like a what's the nice word to say? Because people thought that TM Opera O is actually the main carry. They think that Ryuji is the one being carried, right? So that's why a lot of people would put down Ryuji and pump up TM Opera O, right? So that's how it is for quite a while. And there were some situations that were a bit telling of something like that, where Ryuji actually cost the victories for some of TM Opera O's races by spurting too early. And spurting too early made her lose steam at the last part, and thus she was not able to win some of these races, right? That was one of the things. And there was one point, the most famous one, which is the 2000 Arima Kinen, where Ryuji himself admits that he is a lacking jockey and that TM Opera O was the one that won that race there, right? So we will talk about that one later on. We will move on to this part over here. Ryuji Wada was definitely loved by TM Opera O, right? The horse really liked the jockey. So TM Opera O likes to look at her face because she likes her jockey in real life, and basically what happened was that they kind of reflected Ryuji into TM Opera O's personality. So when you look at yourself, you're just looking at your favorite trainer. So I think that is the headcanon here for this TM Opera O, right? And TM Opera O is similar to Symboli Rudolph, as in the horse also had great knowledge of how to win races and was able to decide when to spurt to win her own race. Not joking, by the way. Symboli Rudolph also was shown to decide, I want to spurt now, and so she was able to spurt and get the victory, right? TM Opera O also decided on that one, especially for Arima Kinen, where the jockey himself admitted that he was not the one that won that one, right? The personality of the in real life Wada was also transferred to TM Opera O. She's very generous with the fans, and that is a reflection of Ryuji Wada as well, who's also very generous with the fans, willing to sign stuff for the fans and whatnot, right? Really loves the fans. 7 rings on her fingers represent her 7 G1 wins. The Fall Tenno Show curse. So before TM Opera O came along, in the Fall Tenno Show, what happened was that if you are the favorited horse, you are most likely going to lose. It's a bit of a weird thing, but it was a curse basically. And this was also the track that Suzuka would fall on. So it's a really, really cursed track. And so people would call it the curse, and TM Opera O would break that curse by being the favorited horse and then winning the track, right? And of course, with 7 G1 wins and winning all of these tracks, right, actually what happened was that instead of being loved, right, TM Opera O became hated. Because what happened was that she made horse racing a bit boring. Similar to Rudolph, Deep Impact, and TM Opera O, people just knew she was going to win. So it became very, very boring to watch her play, right? She did lose quite a bit, honestly, in seconds and third places, but people knew that she would always be in first, second, or third at least every single time, and this actually resulted in hatred for the horse. She was not really that liked. Another reason was also that the horse wasn't very pretty by human standards. I don't know what the hell that actually means, but yeah, apparently the horse was not that pretty for some reason. Okay, but yeah. Next, we also have the loss to Admire Vega, who was being ridden by Yutake Take. Because I didn't show the race record for the Admire Vega, I decided to add it here. Yutake Take is this guy over here who rode Deep Impact, Oguri Cat Special Week, and Super Creek, and many, many other famous horses, right? And then what happened was that when he was riding Admire Vega performed extremely well. And so that is one of the wins that happens in the Narita Top Road to the Top. Right, that's one of the wins that happens. Okay, TM Opera was attacked by rocks by haters, right? And also, I think they cut his hair as well. So they attacked him, and he never really did anything reactionary. He was a very tame horse, but because of this incident, right, they decided to never ever show TM Opera O in public again. So shit like this really, really sucks. Like why are you gonna do this, right? Like, you go and do something else with your life, honestly. Similar to many famous horses like Oguri Cap, Opera O has a big heart, quite literally actually. The heart was very, very big compared to other horses, and because the heart is big, right, you actually have I don't know what's the word, more stamina or more power, either or, right? And because you also inherit more power from your father, so your opera house, and maybe even native dancer lineage, the inheritance, you mentioned, hit that, right? Then you're able to actually get a lot of those buffs, and now you're a really, really strong horse. So similar to many famous horses like Oguri Cap, she was also a very, very strong horse. And it's very cool that we mentioned Oguri Cap here, because it was because of Oguri Cap that we are able to even have TM Opera O in some of the classic races. I think it was was Satsuki? No, I can't remember which race it was, but it was because of Oguri Cap, right, that she was able to open up the classics entrance. You pay more money and then you can enter the classics, right? You don't have to be a classic licensed horse. You just need to pay a lot more money and you can get in. And TM Opera O got in thanks to Oguri Cap not being able to go in. And TM Opera O managed to win that race by going through that side method opened up by Oguri Cap. So yeah, really, really close relationship with Oguri Cap. And actually I want to talk about that timeline in the Big Law video also, because it's really cool. Because it goes from like Maru, and after that goes to Oguri, then it goes to Opera O in a way, right? That's the evolution of horse racing, right? So anyway, before we go into other stuff, we need to talk about this Arima Kinen race. This is a very, very famous race. You need to watch this race, right? It's mandatory viewing. And they also showed this race in beginning of a new era because it is mandatory viewing, all right? It is a legendary race where the jockey in the interview was crying and said that he had given up already. Right? He said that he was lacking as a jockey and was not able to find victory there because he was being marked by all of these other horses. But TM Opera O did not give up and found the last little gap to push through at the 300 or 200 meter spurt. And he was able to spurt all the way and overtook Meishi Doto to win 2000 Arima Kinen. This is a legendary race. Okay, this race is unbelievable. You thought the anime was over-exaggerating? No, it actually happened. And so sometimes the anime writes itself in real life in horse racing. So this shit here is peak and you should definitely go and watch it. The 2001 Takarazuka Kinen was another case of a blockade. Blockades are not really uncommon strategies and they're not really looked down upon. If the horse is strong, people will hunt you down, right? Aim to hit you, right? For example, when Grass Wonder was fighting Special Week, the game plan was actually to try and snipe the victory away from Special Week because that was the only horse that we need to hit, right? So stuff like that happens. Even Oguri Cap was marked, right? They did not want these horses to race normally because these horses are very strong and if you let them race normally, then you will not be winning, right? So that was what happened here for Takarazuka Kinen again, and Meisho Doto would finally get her revenge here, getting the first place against TM Opera O, which I think is really, really cool. Doto and TM Opera O would also retire together at the same time at the memorial, and Doto will get sad whenever someone says TM Opera O. This one I find quite funny because Doto doesn't know who it is. He knows that TM Opera O makes people sad. The name itself makes people sad. He doesn't know who that person is. So when Ryuji Wada came to visit Doto, people think that the reason why Doto would try to bite Wada is because Doto thinks that Ryuji is TM Opera O. So I think that is very, very cool, right? Yeah, the horse is very, very intelligent. They know that TM Opera O makes people sad. So because of that, I do not like TM Opera O anymore, whoever that is, but he doesn't really know who that is, right? Really, really cute, right? So that's pretty much the entire story I have for TM Opera O over here. Really, really amazing horse. You must watch this, you must watch this. And the reason why I think that she will not get her own anime or movie is because it might be very, very boring for us to watch her win 7 G1s, right? And so they decide to put her losses as the main antagonist for, or the main good points for a lot of these movies and animes, right? For example, TM Opera O appears in Narita Top Road. She wins one, loses one to Vega, and then loses one to Narita Top Road. And this will be Top Road story. So TM Opera O is more of the villain in that one. And then for here, the brand new era, TM Opera O again is the villain, who gets beaten by Poke to lead to the beginning of a brand new era, which is literally the anime wrote itself. I will one day talk about Poke's story because Poke's story beating TM Opera O is straight up insane because the anime literally wrote it itself. Like they actually wrote it itself, and all Cygames did was just copy paste it straight up. Like it's so damn cool. All right, so anyway, that's pretty much it for the TM Opera O lore. Right, lots and lots of good stuff here for horse lore, but TM Opera O is really someone that is just an insane horse. All right, absolutely ridiculous horse. Now we are going to move on to the Gemini Cup guide. As you can see here, we have a lot of new graphics and stuff. I paid some people to help me with the Canva management because I have no time to do it myself. All right, for this section over here, the main thing I want to talk about for the progress is that September 7th is the registration date for Gemini Cup. Take note, is the registration date, which means that if you're not done with your aces by that point, you still have a few more days on top of that, and even on top of that, you still have a few more days while you are doing the Gemini Cup. Why? Because as long as you train 1 or 2 aces that are really, really strong, you should be sweeping all of the noobs. As long as you sweep all of the noobs, you will be guaranteed a position in the A finals, right? So you should just keep going for the trainings if you can, but at this point in time, I highly recommend going for ace runs already. Just cope with whatever you have. People ask me all the time, Mumu, is this copium? Is this copium? Yes, it's copium. You're aiming for pink sparks and white sparks. You want straightaway spurts as much as possible. You want longs as much as possible. So you can increase the odds of your actual horse getting it. So sacrifice the blues if you have to. No choice. We are out of time already, right? One more week. If you want to try and push it, you can try and push it, but I recommend training the ace parent now because it's going to take some time to make a good ace parent for the Gemini Cup, right? And for those who thought that you could train Seiyun parent, I'm very sorry, but September 7th is Seiyun Sky's release date, which means that there will be no time to go and train this parent over here. I highly do not recommend training Seiyun. She now drops to C tier for this CM because she is very, very hard to train in time. Alright, she comes on the exact same date as registration. It's very, very hard. So I recommend going for these over here. In addition, there are some people who ask why are some of the uniques here and why are some of them not here. The answer is that there is just no major excels that will help you to really win this CM except for straightaway spurt. And so because of that, we don't really care about which uniques we get. In fact, sometimes, most of the time, in fact, I don't even buy the uniques for these horses because I'd rather buy the actual skills instead. We need so much other skills that buying the uniques is actually a bit of a waste. So you don't even need to go for these uniques if you don't want to. Just go for the actual stats and you are fine already, right? So if you want to abandon the uniques, feel free to abandon the uniques, honestly, right? Just go for long S, go for straight away spurt. That's the most powerful unique you can inherit. Straight away spurt is the most powerful, all right? That's pretty much the summary for this legacy tier list over here. Right. Moving on, we also have the Kyoto stat recommendation. Now, take note, this is a recommendation, okay? This is not the minimum. So if you do watch other videos and they say you can go for lower stat lines, this is not considering stuff like rushed, debuffs, long S, additional greens to make your speed higher. Because if you get more speed, right, what happens is your stamina consumption increases. And when you get more stamina consumption, then you eat more of your last spurt. Then your last spurt, you die at the end, then that could cost you the game. So very, very important to get more than required stamina for this CM in particular, especially if you're an end closer player. Because what happens is that the Haru Raras are aiming to hit you with end closer debuffs. The nice natures are end closer debuffing you, right? You have to be very, very careful about these things here. So if I expect people to bring debuffers anyway into the Gemini Cup, I would be going for more stamina here. In addition, for really, really good safety, 3 gold recoveries. Because if only 1 gold recovery activates, you are going to die in this CM, alright? And there are 2 recoveries that are RNG activations. One recovery is Breath of Fresh Air. If it activates too early, it will be very bad. If it activates too late, it's also very bad. So that is an RNG. Cooldown also, RNG on a straight, right? Too early or too late and it might be over already. So that's why you should buy 3 gold recoveries. Even if one activates wrong timing, at least you have another chance to try again. If one doesn't activate at all due to your very low wits, at least you have 2 others to try, right? There is a percentage here that it matters, and that's why 3 gold recoveries is recommended. But I put here at least 2. At least 2, right? With higher stamina and higher guts, even with only 2, you can still have a very safe bet to win. So it's up to you if you want to gamble multiple or you want to go for very, very safe stamina over here. Your choice, all right? I'll leave it up to you. You can do 3 aces, 2 gold stamina recoveries for all, and if one of them doesn't trigger, then at least you have 2 others to back up on, right? So that's how you want to do it for your stamina stat recommendations. For the actual horses over here, we've changed the UI, so now it is going to be like this for end closers. You can see by the arrows now, right? Haru Rara is now a front debuffer. Take note, it's a front debuffer / buffer, all right? If you want to go and do all this debuffing stuff. But if you don't want the stamina to be improved, what you can do is you can do end closer Haru Rara. And then what happens is that because she falls all the way behind, it still doesn't activate for the Taishin, right? It still doesn't activate for Taishin, and you still make the stamina consumption very, very high for the entire lobby, right? So Haru Rara is a legitimate strat for this CM for sure, due to how position keep works, right? So definitely a debuffer to look out for. Nice Nature still viable, of course. I mean, debuffers are always viable. You just buy a bunch of debuffs on them, you hit the end closers, and now the end closers are in trouble. That's why going for more stamina is usually better, right? So you can at least compensate for all these goddamn Nice Natures and Haru Raras hitting you, right? You have to be very, very careful about that. Right, so that's pretty much it for this tier list over here. I'm not really going to elaborate anymore. All of these horses are really, really good. Oguri, I just put here with the heart symbol because now I'm adding the Oshi thing. Because people keep asking me, why is Oguri so high? Well, now you know. Alright, now you know. Because she's the Oshi, alright? And the Oshi must be prioritized over the meta every single time. Otherwise, you will quit the game because it's just a spreadsheet game. Right? Spreadsheet gaming is like the fast track to burnout. Alright, I'm telling you right now. Okay, so now Another person I want to shill here is Urzi. Urzi is the writer of the reference document, the global reference document. So anything that she says, you can basically trust her. She's the sensei. She codes all of these stuff, and she writes all of these gigantic passages to try and teach people stuff. So now she's doing the video stuff, and you'll be able to learn quite a bit from watching her. All right. She also addressed the stamina stuff, like what the hell is 1700 stamina. I think Victoria Frontier is the one that said this. I don't understand 1700. I'm not familiar with this stuff here. Urzi is more familiar with this stuff here, so feel free to go and watch her instead of me, right? But 1700, from what I understand, right, if you get over the stamina requirement, right, like maybe you have 1200 stamina and you go to 1700, right, you take 1700 minus 1200 divided by 2, and that is the amount of stamina you actually have, because they halve the bonus stamina, from what I understand. So I think that's the one people are talking about, but I'm not too sure. Urzi is more in line with this conversation, so feel free to go and watch this one. Position key and 2-minute guide is very, very good, and she will recommend 900 stamina, but 900 stamina in my opinion is not enough, because there's a lot of other stuff that can go wrong, right? Do not go bare minimum. Bare minimum is gambling. You should go a little bit above bare minimum, or a lot above bare minimum, so you're able to survive all of the other freaking debuffers and whatnot, right? I think that's going to be a safer play for a lot of us. Position keep, you will understand Harurara debuffer in like 1 minute very, very easily. Okay. For my parent planning right now, I finished the grandparents mostly. I'm coping with 1-star blue sparks and 2-star longs. I'm aiming for longs only. That's why I'm very, very focused into the longs. And I have finished my ghost ship already. She does not have long S, but I've considered her finished because I do not have time to focus on her anymore. I have to go and focus on Oguri Cap as well as Narita Taishin. If I'm not able to print out a good one from those two, I am actually going to be cooked. At least ghost ship is viable because she has straight away split by default, meaning that if all of you don't live, if you fail your cooldown, fail your breath of fresh air, fail your activation of one of your recoveries, this still has a fighting chance with straight away split. And so because of that, I prioritize straight away split over the long S, and I consider it a viable option for me, right? She's a very safe horse and a solid rock, where if others cannot win, I can still maybe rely on her to win. Alright, after that we have Oguri and Narita Taishin. Because she's the Oshi, I have to focus very, very hard on her. I need to get the straight away split onto the Ghost Ship over here and the Tokai Teo over here. Right, after that I'll inherit into the Oguri Cap, and then I will try to win the game from that. If I cannot win the game, so be it, but she will be a viable option for me. Alright, for Narita Taishin over here, she's very easy because straight away split is optional. She has it by default, which means that all I need is just long spark, and I'm done. Right, so that should be not too much of a problem. I only aim for long, I don't aim for any blue. If the blue is okay, then nice. If the blue is not okay, I don't give a shit. Just get me a long spark and our long. Alright, long. Done. Alright, that is my Narita Taishin completely finished. Alright, just aim for long S and Taishin is completed, so she's the easiest one to go and build. Right, so that is pretty much my progress right now. Should start working on the aces for all of you. You only have about 7 days or a little bit more if you're willing to grind a little bit more. But when the CM starts, take note, it will be time to prepare for Cancer Cup. Cancer Cup, the third CM is coming. Alright, so now after all of this stuff here, I want to address the feelings of you guys, right? Because I have received a lot of messages about I feel not confident, I feel like this CM is crazy, I feel like the schedule is crazy, I feel like quitting the game because of that. So that is the burnout, right? I told you before, if you are burning out, you need to chill out, right? Quitting the game just because of one CM. This is only one out of like 50 plus CMs in the future, alright? This is like, what, a drop in the bucket. You should not be quitting because of one. What happens is that if you do not feel like doing the next CM, just do double debuffer plus ace. Even Urzi is doing it. Alright, even the ref doc writer is doing it. And because I swear to you, she's not gonna admit it, but it's because she's lazy as shit. Alright, she doesn't want to make the parents for the horses, that's why she's just gonna go double debuffer plus my other top gun ace, and I'm done. Alright, that's pretty much why she's doing this, okay? So yeah, if you want to do it, just do it. Because why? My friend, he got second place with this strat, and I got third place with my double ace strat. Like, nice, right? You can always pull off a victory, right? No matter how bleak things look. For Taurus Cup win rates, you want to look at mine, I have a total of 75% win rate between these two horses over here. Nice Nature never won a single one, but she's not really there to win, right? Ultimately, you can watch the recording here, which basically shows me not activating Red Shift on Ghost Ship, and also Oguri Cap gets blocked by freaking Nice Natures of all things. My Nice Nature got into third place, and Oguri Cap did not get there. Like, nice. Like, so damn shit. And I still lost because of that. So really, RNG can decide whether you win or lose. Even my wits is quite good, right? Good wits, and I still lose. Like, nice. right? For the Taurus Cup group finals over here, I highly recommend watching Kayla's stream because this is a very hardcore streamer and a whale, and she still got 7th, 8th, and 9th place. Like, insane. If you saw horses, you would not believe that she can lose, and she still loses. Like, it's insane. Even I asked JP veterans about this stream, and they say that this is unbelievably lucky, right? Unbelievably unlucky, right? It's quite ridiculous, right? Quite ridiculous. And yeah, Taurus Cup, the finals, every single CM's finals is always Eclipse first, and the rest will be nowhere. I only got 3rd place on my Go sheet, but that gives me nothing, right? I couldn't even squeeze a 2nd place. It really sucks. I missed the Redshift activation, and so I lose, right? I just lose. Really, really sucks. So yeah, that's how it be sometimes, and that's why, if you don't feel like it, just do double debuffer plus ace. Just get hesitant end closer, subdued and flustered end closer, and you're done. Debuffer completed. Don't even need to get any other debuffs except those. And then Urara is optional. You don't even need her. You can just put her in like end closer and just still debuff people, right? Then you just make one really good ace, one with spurt, long S, and then you just run it down, or you don't even get the long S, just get the spurt. You just get the spurt, some really good skills, and bam, you are in it, right? If everyone else dies, at least you have a chance to win, right? That's how you have to play it if you're lazy. Don't quit the game just because of 1 CM. There's going to be plenty more. Don't rage pull either. I know some of you are rage pulling right now because you really, really want more cards, because you want to compete harder. Well, don't do that, alright? That's the bait. That's how they get you. Don't get baited by these first CMs. First CMs are always whale bait, right? The whales always get to clear for free, right? Even Hoyoverse games, right? When they first release, you're like, oh my god, I can't clear because I don't have the artifacts, I don't have the stats, I don't have the characters. Yeah, it's because the first few are for whales. They're for whales. For all of us, we have to catch up over time. So we have to wait a little bit longer, and then we'll be able to catch up. We'll get more SSRs, right? We'll get lucky on other banners, and that power level averages out. And then we are kind of okay already, right? We'll be constantly competitive with all of these other whale characters, right? So yeah, that's how you have to play this game right now. Don't get stressed over the first CM where the whales are the dominant ones, right? I wrote it down here also, right? People who paid 1,000 bucks are just gonna beat the shit out of you. What can you do, right? Over time, you just get revenge in other CMs. There's nothing else about it, right? Just beat the weaker players, because while there are whales in the game, they do not count for all of the other casuals in the game. A lot of people are just playing this game for fun. Just beat the shit out of them. If you beat the shit out of them, you get to become king of the shitters, and even the king of the shitters gets gems. That's still pretty good, right? So definitely try your best to go and get as much wins as possible. If you have to, go into B finals. If you go into B finals, you have a high chance to win, right? Then you get more gems than the 3rd place of the A finals. Like, yeah, nice. So yeah, you feel free to go and do whatever you want. Just pray for some good ass matchmaking RNG, and pray for Kayla or me to just like fail horrendously. Like, not activate skill, get blocked, like nice combo, right? Even whales can fall, right? Even the dolphin can kill the whale. Even the goldfish can kill the whale, right? That's how this game evens out the gameplay. If the whale does not trigger the thing, you still have a chance to win, although it will be lower chance, but that's how it be sometimes in this game. It's always 50-50. Either you hit it or you don't hit it, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for all of my advice here. Please do not get so stressed about this game, right? If you just are following spreadsheets and metas, you will definitely burn out. I'm telling you that much, because nothing will ever satisfy you. So you just need to cope. You just need to adapt, just need to use whatever you have. If you hit something very lucky, nice. You are pretty much very set for this CM. If you never hit something lucky, then whatever, go for the next CM. Whatever, dude. You only like lose what, 4 pools if you get 3rd place versus 1st place? Like, who gives a shit? 4 pools, I go work at McDonald's, I come back, I will be able to get enough pools already, right? So like, who cares? Literally, who cares, right? Do not get stressed about this stuff over here. Do not get baited into rage pulling. This stuff here is not the optimal way to play the game. You just go for the big value banners, save up enough, and you'll be fine, right? So that's how it be. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the stuff that I have in my list of stuff to cover in this video. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment below, or join me in my weekend streams. I will stream on Twitch as well. All of my links are in this Canva sheet here. The link is in the description below, so you can just go and copy paste the Canva. This is my YouTube channel, this is my Twitch channel, and this is my Ko-fi. If you want to ask for guides or any other questions specifically, you can use the Ko-fi. Otherwise, I always answer your questions as much as possible through videos or through Twitch channel or through YouTube stream sometimes. Yeah, whatever. Right, so anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for today. Leave some feedback also for the design of the Canva. Yes, we are trying to improve it. If you have any other if you have any suggestions, feel free to just leave them below, and then we'll try to take a look at them later on. Alright, so that's pretty much it, guys, for this video. Thanks, guys, for watching. Good luck with your parents. I'm gonna be focusing real hard on my Oguri, and then I'll try my best to make a strong Taishin as well. Not a lot of time, but I only need to make 2 of them decent, and then I need to make 1 of them incredibly OP, right? Whether that be Oguri or Taishin, it will be up to RNG already at this point. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys, for watching. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.